Great. Hello everyone. Good afternoon. Great. I love that. At least I didn't get this kind of voice when I delivered, I guess 2 years back, a session which is after lunch. I hate after lunch session, including me as an audience. But I'll try to make it really interesting. So sit tight, hold your horses, and we're gonna make it an amazing journey next 30 minutes or so. So right now it's 2:10. We're gonna finish it in exactly 30 minutes. Perfect. Raise your hand if you are a developer. I want to see hands. If you are a developer who do coding, raise your hand. Or run or create scripts. That also works. Any languages. Raise. Okay, great. How many of you use a coding companion? Raise your hand. If you use a coding companion. Okay, quite few. So if I summarize it, again, everybody loves summarization happening with AI these days, so I'm also going to summarize it. I guess out of the 100% audience, 60% are developer. And that 60%, only 20% are using AI companion, the coding companion. And when I'm meaning about coding companion is, it is the tool or it is the platform which is sitting next to you on your next chair and giving you a keyboard support whenever you need something. Instead of going copy and paste from the GitHub, it is giving you a real value at the right hand side at the back. Good afternoon everyone, my name is Amit Kumar and I'm a senior solution architect at AWS. Let me give you one more anecdote. In AWS, start moving up, I'm not sure why. Let me try again. Try it out. Yeah, it's working. Okay. So this is me. If you want to connect with me over LinkedIn, please scan my QR code. You would be able to. As I mentioned, I'm a senior solution architect, and I work with the customers to build solution on AWS. I'm a journalist. If you're asking me, some of you folks who are in the networking session was asking me which service you are a specialist on, which service you usually take care. So I'm a journalist. I take care of all the 200 plus services in AWS as a journalist. So, ask me questions. Probably I would not be able to answer level 400 questions, but I would be able to get you somebody who can answer your question. But I'm good with the level 300. I'm a passionate, automation expert. I've been in last 16 years doing a lot of automations at the back, and I have started this whole automation things when, if one of you guys remember that we used to do a automation in PowerShell, automation in batch. Batch, you remember that black window in Windows comes in and then you create .bat file and then double click and execute and do the wonders. So I started that automation from those days. So I love those automations and I'm still doing it. And I've been part of many companies where my product was an automation expert. I can't name it on this stage, those products, but because of the compliance. But I love the automation. Feel free to ask me any questions that you have. Raise your hand and ask Amit, I want to know this. So don't worry about it. We're going to have it this interactive, not the monologue. A lot of people and a lot of customers and a lot of the community folks want to understand where the GenAI is going these days. And everybody knows it. GenAI is the buzzwords from 2023, right? When someone came in XYZ company and saying, now you can chat with machine. And everybody was, wow, yeah, I can chat with my machine. I say hi, he said, hi, how are you? And I say, I want to know more about you, and that particular system chats with you. But what is actually going behind that? How the system has been made, and how the system has been integrated with the other systems that have been, which is now happening in 2024. The days are gone where GenAI and chatbot was kind of a wow factor. Now that wow factor should also be converted into the production grade applications, right? Everybody agree with me? Now the chatbot is fine, right? Chatbot can do wonders, he can answer a lot of questions, but how I can make it to my customers, how I can make it valuable to myself also. The real life use cases, like manufacturing company. If manufacturing companies build a solutions called GenAI solution and having a large document set at the back and they get answers in minute in a natural language processing, that's the use case that we should strive for. And that's what the AWS is helping those use cases. We have 3 layers. We have divided to simplify 3 layers of generative AI. By the way, this session is not the generative AI session, but I still want to touch upon a couple of things as a building block. This session is going to be more about how the generative AI is helping a developer, as a developer. Okay? So, but before that, I also want to cover what are the components of GenAI is built on AWS. The bottom layer that you see here is start with the infrastructure. Let me put this question to you. Anybody can raise your hand and answer. When the cloud starts, what was the definition of the cloud? Raise your hand if you have funny definition. What, if somebody asks you what is cloud? Someone else's computer. Yeah, absolutely. So it's a funny thing, right? Someone else's computer, you are using it. But that's true, right? Now you don't have the hardware, but you are actually running a computer, running a hardware at the back. There is nothing called you look up at the sky and say, okay, yeah, cloud. No, it's not a cloud, right? Let me also share one funny story with you. When my relatives ask me, what do you do? I say, I'm a cloud architect. Look up in the sky and say, okay, cloud architect. I said, no, not that cloud. That's the cloud that we made for our customers to run their machines without worrying about the data centers. So, okay. So yeah, that machine is running somewhere, right? The similar case is with GenAI. That heavy chatbot which can answer you a lot many things, lot many ways like a human, act like a human. Where it is running somewhere in the hardware. And ladies and gentlemen, I would like to tell you about the specifically built hardware we have in AWS, which is we call AWS Trainiums and Infrastructure. These are the specifically purposely built hardwares for those machine learning use cases. People can say that, I can run my generative AI model on Intel. Yes, absolutely, you can run it. But what about the performance? What about the cost? That's a matter, right? The large language models are supporting now thousands of billions of the parameters. And when we are talking about these parameters, they require a lot of power at the back. And when we require a power at the back, it comes with a cost. Agree with me? Raise your hand if you agree with me. The power comes with a cost. Oh, only few. Okay. Yeah, I'm just joking. Yes, absolutely. And in fact, we have a lot of other services purposely built for only talking about machine learning and generative AI. And that's what the Amazon SageMaker is. People are aware about it. This provides a ready platform for those machine learning use cases. You can train your model, you can host your own model, and you can have your own model which you can further train it or retrain it on that and then use it in your application. The second layer comes in. There are some different type of customers as well. One customer was, okay, Amit, you give me the hardware, I'll do my job. I know better than you. So you give me the hardware, I'll do my job. I said, yeah, you are better than me. So you do your job and use this hardware to solve their purpose. Who will be those customers? Like data scientists. They know how to do the job better than me. But that runs better on AWS Trainium and Inferentius and purposely built hardware. But there are some other customers also. They say, Amit, I know how to develop an application, how to run a code, how to train a model, and I know how to do the things. But I don't want to host them. I'm not an infrastructure company. Can you help me with this? So the answer of those is Amazon Bedrock. Amazon Bedrock provides the large language models and foundational models as an API call. You just need to plug in your application, access the LLMs and FMs APIs through Amazon Bedrock, and then just pay for it how many times that you are going to access it. Isn't it amazing? Now you don't need to have the whole full large language models, the whole foundational models, and train it and retrain it and have a lot of CPUs and GPUs. You just access it using API calls. And there are some other customers also. I would say, I don't know nothing about GenAI. I don't know nothing about machine learning. But that doesn't mean that I cannot have the generative AI in my application. I said, absolutely yes. For you, we have, where we have? Okay? No, it's not my side. Okay, yeah, but I'll continue. I don't need slides, by the way. For those, we have Amazon Q for developer, Amazon Q for business, the consoles, and there are a lot of other services that can be available as a generative AI pre-built for you. First example is you can have your, if you are a developer community, that was I asked that how many numbers of developers here. Yeah, okay, thank you so much, I appreciate that. We have Amazon Q for business, Q for developer, Q Insight, and Q in the Connect. I'll cover that in a bit, but today we are going to focus on these two services, Q for business, Q for developer. Now, millions of people are using AIs somehow in some other way. And people often ask, Amit, what is in it for me? What is in it for my business? You are saying that you can provide a generative AI or probably large language model as an API call, but I don't know how to access that API. I don't have engineer who can write that code and then can provide you and access those API calls and then get the benefit out of it. Like for example, developer, they don't want to go into the scientist space, like data scientist space. They don't want to know how to train a model. Developer don't want to do that, right? They want their code to be done, whichever the project they have been given, they want to finish it as optimal as possible. And the organization wants that the same way. Second is, Amit, you said I can access large language model. I can ask, hey, how are you? Can you provide me the forecast of this particular thing? Absolutely fine. Can you give me the what happened in 1945? Yes, it can give you. Why? Because that is trained on our Internet of Data, or the data of Internet, whichever way you call it. That will not give you the exact thing which you want for your business. Let's say if you are a employee of a financial industry, let's say the bank for the time being, let's say, can you ask a question about the bank for that LLM? Can it answer? Can it answer? Yes, no. Say it, buddy. Say it. No, yes. Maybe. Oh yeah, I like the question. Maybe that's a good one. When my wife asks something and I don't know, I say, yeah, it could be. So yeah, that's the best one. Anyways, yes, the answer is no. Because LLM and those FM is trained on internet data, the public data that they have. They can answer only those questions which they have been trained on. Let's say if the LLM is coming from Meta or the LLM is coming from somebody else, they don't know about your company's data. How are you going to make the use of those data and then attack that data as a context and retrain that model, so customize that model on your data is something which Amazon Q Business can give you by default. You can use those models to use the getting pre-trained and retrained, or probably use as a RAG model, the retrieval augmented model, and then you would also be able to get it, your set of data and your set of questions answers from that large language models. So Amazon, very simple, let's make it very simple. Amazon Q for developer, focus on the developers community, the IT professionals, and Amazon Q for business is usually meant for employees and business analysts, which they need an answer about their question. We're going to cover Amazon Q for developer today, and that's what all the developers are here. You would agree with me with this slide, there are multiple phases in the development. First phase is the plan. When somebody give you a project, what is your first phase is? When somebody give you, Mr. X, I want a mobile application which talk to this database and get the results done by the users. So first thing first, what are you going to do? It plan. What I need to use it. I got this project from the customer, whether it's an open source or you are working for a client. You need to plan for it, right? And once you plan it, you need to build it. You need to create it, right? And third phase comes in. You need to test and secure. That's important one. Recently, downtime happened. Anybody else aware? Recent downtime happened. Our Windows goes off. Luckily, I'm using Mac, so I cannot make that weekend saying that I am not working. I have to. Anyways, yes. So test and secure is also important. Why? A lot of people ask me, what are you talking about? My system is not even in production. Why are you really worried about security? And I have a very, very good answer for them. If you are not worried about the security when you are building something, how you can secure a thing which is already built. Does that make sense? Say yes, no? Yeah? So the test and secure is equally important when you are designing and when you are creating and making a plan for your application, that how you secure your code, how you secure your applications for the code vulnerabilities for this time period. And then the final plan is the operate. Maintenance and modernize, that's also important. And this cycle goes and goes on. Once you have done it, your application is production, you again try to add more features, and then test it, build it, and do it again. Now, how the Q developer is going to be helping all these phases, that's what we are going to cover. Remember, the first phase was understand and learn. The planning phase. When you have to plan it, can somebody help me? If I have this use case, how do I plan this? Q for developer can do this. With the Q console, you can ask a question. Okay, Mr. Q, I want to build a 3-tier application, and that 3-tier application, I need an infrastructure as a code. Would you be able to give me? He said, yeah. This is the infrastructure as a code. Please use it. Extract via ABC. He will give you the path from where that code he is referring from. Now the second thing comes in when somebody asks, I have a problem that I want to solve. Let's say I have a Java 8 code. Can I have the similar code in Java 17? Is it possible? He said, yeah. This is the code. Use it. That you can use it through the Q chat as well. Q code generations. I am using these 10 lines of a code, and the 15th line of a code I say, can you tell me the next code? The moment you press enter, it will generate the code automatically for you. And let me give you an example. At Amazon, we have a bunch of 100 of production applications which needs to be upgraded from Java 8 to 15. How many times you will get it? Consider this is a mid-level of a production application. Per application, how much time you will take it to upgrade it from Java 8 to Java 15? Guesses? Guesses? Somebody say 5 weeks? 10? For 200 applications. Well, let's take it 100 applications for the time. 3 weeks? 4 weeks? 5 weeks? Absolutely, this requires a lot of work, a lot of manual work. But we have used it. We have used Amazon Q for using that upgrade and automatic code upgrade possibilities and suggestions in the application we have done in just 5 days. And that happens because we were using Amazon Q, and I'm telling you our own scenarios, like Amazon, use these services and then help upgrade our code. And we have identified per application, we took 2 minutes. Isn't it amazing? And that's what the developer community wants it. Some people say, Amit, you are saying, and this is reality. I was talking the similar thing with one of the CIO in very, India's largest two-wheeler company. They were saying the same thing. I was just discussing the same thing with them. He said, okay, so Amit, you are saying these 10 developers which is sitting in front of you would not get their job, or can I release them? I said, no, absolutely no. What is the mean of developer? Is the developer mean is to just write a code? No. Developers is not to just write a code. Write a code can happen anywhere. You have a lot of data, a lot of things. Developer is required to build a logic, to build a smart application, to build a logical application, error-prone, error-free applications. So you don't require it. So then he said that what is the benefit then? I said, the project that you give this 10 developer, and if they are completing in 10 days, I can guarantee you would be able to finish it in next 2 days. That's the power this platform is going to give you. It's not going to reduce the developer, it is going to optimize the time of the developer so that developer can do more in less time. Does that make sense? And then finally, we have queue troubleshooting. A lot of time people ask a question, and we have also seen that people has asked a question that okay, I'm having a Lambda function, I'm having an issues. What is the problem? It's giving me some error. What is the problem? Okay, somebody say raise a ticket with AWS or raise a ticket with the partner, and the ticket goes on. Somebody will come in, understand, figure out the logs, and then give you some solutions around it. Okay, you have done this mistake. Please correct it. What if I give you a default in your console whenever you receive an error? So, with the queue troubleshooting, you can have your error in the console, and immediately this will suggest you, Mr. X, Mr. Customer, you are having this error, this could be your potential solution. That kind of availability that you can have it. And then again, queue code transfer, I just told you the same example. I'll give you some kind of a technical problem again, but I will just give you a couple of demo here to show how we use at each and every stages. Working? Not? Okay, coming. How it is working? Like Amazon Q is available with the AWS console. You know it, right? AWS console dot something. It works with your IDE as well, your favorite IDE. So you don't need to go always to console and get your stuff done. You can integrate that with your favorite IDE. It could be VS Code, it could be XYZ as well. And it also helps in the AWS documentations. You have the console mobile application. Has anybody used AWS console mobile application? Raise your hand. Q is available there, so feel free to use it like a chatbot. Slack and Teams. It can integrate with the Slack and Teams, and you can all those things with your favorite tool like Slack. And then of course the Code Catalyst. If anybody using Code Catalyst here? No? Okay, that's a DevOps. That's a DevOps platform that we have. You can use those Amazon Q as an integrated pipeline as well. Look at this. You have a right side. You're asking, how do I build a web app with AWS? What are my options? Here you go. Within a second, you got your options in your planning, how you are getting it. In the console only. You don't need to go to third-party chatbot and then figure out how you're gonna do it. You can, and that is not something which is, we are just providing you because of we have the LLM and then we are giving that to customer. That has a guidance, or that has been trained from 17 years of the knowledge that AWS architects like me is having. When this was, again, this is unofficial, but we don't publish this as a public fact, but we as a solution architects helps lot of trainings. Whenever you are getting an answer, it's probably that we have done a lot of training with this LLM as a solution architect. And that's where you feel that this Amazon Q in your console is the answer is coming from a solution architect. So you don't need to be, you don't think that, my job is gone right. So no, that's not the case, like I said. It just, we are giving that information as a customer. About the plan phase. About the create phase, this is your favorite ID. You are just having this. You are having function to square a number. When you tab it, your whole code has been written automatically. And then you're writing just a comment. We have seen almost 40%, the person who have used the queue, you have not the used queue, this guy is able to do a 40% faster than this guy. And that's a fact that we have just tested out. So that's the start that we have in the create phase. So you have your ID and you can use this to generate the code, to explain the code also. So for example, most of the time having an issue, one of my customers, I'm just telling you a real life example by the way. One of my customers was asking, Amit, it's fine, you are bringing a new code, that's okay. I can do XYZ Padlet. I don't want to name it. So you can do that from that as well. But I have a very simple problem. I have a very, very heavy code available built by somebody who left the company 15 years ago. And I have a tough time, when I have a production downtime, I'm not able to understand where the problem is. Can you help me with this? I said, yeah. You can actually understand and explain your code by just selecting and using an options for the Amazon Q for developer, explain the code. Just select this code or probably any code, right click and explain the code. It will give you an natural language, line by line explanation of that code. This code was written for a square number, used this way, this has this variable is also used there, and all like that. Now you can use it. And you can also customize your code as well. Couple of customers ask me this. I mean, this is fine that you have trained your model from your own library and you know it, what could be the next line of a code. That's okay. I can also build my own model and who can do this job. What about if I have to customize this? Is there an option to customize this? I said, yes, you have the customization options also available here, where you can customize your code with Amazon Q by just getting the suggestions which is required. In the test and secure phase, like I said, test and security is also equally important. You can select your code and then ask for build a new test case for that code. Automatically, your test case would also get suggested, and automatically that's also get run within your IDE, and you also get the results around it. How many minutes we have? 4 minutes. Fair enough. Okay, test and secure is done. What about operate? I was having this function, I just tested, it is having some issues. Execution failed because of this. Okay, Amazon Q is now helping to resolve this following error. Analysis, the error indicates that Lambda function does not have the memory. Now, what the changes that I have to do? You can just fix this, edit the save event, and run it. It's all good. Isn't it amazing? I love this piece. When I used to be an administrator, I spent days to solve a problem in my Windows server. I used to be a Windows administrator for the terminal servers where user exception used to be coming, and then I was restarting my server only. that's the problem. Otherwise, I could have this one who explained exception is coming at this line. This is the solution. Fix it, and your job is done. I don't need to restart the server 5 times in a day. Gosh. Okay, yeah. So the operate phase is this. You would be able to do it in your own console as well. Now, the developer agent for software development, one of the guy, I forget his name is, who is also explaining about the agents. Nothing is a similar one, but it's an Amazon Q developer agent for software. You can have your agents and can, have your own code and run it for you and use it as an Amazon Q window. And you can have in the natural language, create a function, blah blah this, and you can have your agent deployed within a minute. Now, important piece is the lot of customers is also asked, Amit, you are solving a lot of problem about the developers specifically having a code, having generate a code, explain a code, and then reframe the code, upgrade the code, a lot of things about code. But I have a very fundamental problem. Can you help me with that? I said, what is the problem? Then he said, I want to understand my billing. Everybody laughs on this one. I want to understand my billing, where my billing is happening. So Amazon Q developer knows your AWS account and resources and billing also. And how you can have your questions related to your billings also in a natural language using NLP. Or probably you can also have your resources list all of my Lambda functions. It will list all your Lambda functions, and then you can interact with your AWS in a natural language. You remember when the cloud comes in, AWS cloud comes in, there used to be a lot of trainings how to use a console. Now you just need to know the English. Get me all my Lambda function, get me all my RDS, and all these things happens. Again, you still require a training. Don't quote me anywhere that Amit said after Amazon Q you don't require a training. You still require a training, but your lot of jobs is going to be easy because you are interacting with the console in a natural language. There are a couple of things I also want to discuss. This is how you source your code, build and test like the Java, and then apply the knowledge base. This is very specific requirement coming from a customer who was actually having a lot of code at the back. He said, Amit, okay, you are giving me the suggestion, but I want to have my suggestion based on my pattern, based on my the 10 years or 15 years of coding that I have done, my people has done it, I want to have suggestions based on that. You can have all the suggestions coming from your own knowledge database. And Amazon Q will going to be customized and retrained based on your pattern, based on your way of writing a code, based on your exceptions, based on your memory cleaning, based on all your, whatever the format that you're following from your last 15 years, would also getting ingested to fix your error or upgrade your code. So that is also possible. Feel free to use it. Finally, I would like to give one thought to you today. This was the full stack that I was talking about. People ask me, or you're gonna ask me, what is the cost for it? Anybody knows it? What is the cost for it? We offer Amazon Q developer free tier for doing lot of good things. And it has a free tier, like we do have a free tier for EC2 instance, we have a free tier for Lambda, we have free tier for this, X, Y, Z, and 200 plus services. Not exactly 200, maybe less than that. We don't offer free services for some services, but we do free tier for almost all the services. Similarly, for Amazon Q, you can have free registered with you from the free tier. Let me just bring up a screen so that you are aware. I'm not just talking, I'm just giving you the right thing. These are the things, you can have it as a free. And if you need a developer pro tier for your own organization, you can have 19 per month per user. Not that expensive, but still, you get a lot of good things here only. So if you are a developer, try it out today. An IDE, which is Amazon Q developer, integrate with your IDE, and just try it and test it out, whatever I taught today. And then see whether Amit was making sense or Amit was just talking. So I challenge you to do that. With that note, I rest my pitch today. You've been amazing audience. You've been amazing audience for being so interactive. Let me know if you have any questions. Scan the QR code. This is my LinkedIn page. Feel free to message me, and I'm quite active on LinkedIn. And I'm going to answer probably in a day or two, but definitely I'll make sure I answer your questions. With that note, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for having me. Have a good day.